Hello, my name is Rebecca Lyons, and I'm here to talk to you today about implementing the Carefusion Pyxis SupplyStation into Springfield Medical Care System's office practices. On our agenda today is going to be supply management. I'm going to talk about missed charges, over and under ordering of supplies, and outdating of supplies. I'm going to give you a solution for these problems, the Carefusion Pyxis SupplyStation. I'm going to give you a project budget. We're going to bring it all to a conclusion, and we'll have a Q&A session afterwards. Missed charges. There are a lot of reasons why staff might miss charges. Maybe they don't understand what items are chargeable and what items aren't. Maybe they made a conscious decision to not charge a patient for an item. Or maybe the system we have in place is insufficient or ineffective at charge capturing. Currently at Springfield Medical Care System's office practices, we charge patients manually. This adds another element, the human element, resulting in human error, into our supply charging. By automating this whole system, we can prevent a lot of these missed charges. Over and under ordering of supplies. Supplies are a huge cost in the medical care setting. Research found we can save 5 to 15%. That's a huge amount of money just by implementing better strategies to analyze and control our supplies. They also found that if they leave purchasing up to staff members tend to overstock items because they don't want to run out, which is completely understandable. If you're in the middle of an emergency, you don't want to run out of an item. But at the same time, you also don't want to have an excessive amount of items on hand because that's also costing not only the patient, but the facility extra money as well. Outdated supplies. Supplies are about 25 to 30% of a hospital's total expense. That's second only to labor. By automating this process, we can help remove errors, improve charge capturing, and help prevent supplies from outdating. My solution to all of these problems, the Carefusion Pyxis SupplyStation. It helps prevent missed charges. It ensures that we have an appropriate amount of stock on hand at all times, and it can keep track of expiration dates. The Carefusion Pyxis Supply System automatically charges patients for supplies. All you have to do is log in, choose the patient you're taking care of, and push a button for all of the supplies that you take out. Then the patient is automatically charged. You don't have to do a thing. The system also keeps track of the supplies that we've used, and I can send all of this information directly over to the materials management department right at the hospital, and they can see exactly how much we are using of a certain supply, how frequently we use it, and when we're starting to run low. This way, we always have the perfect amount of supplies on hand at all times. This means more accurate charge capturing and less overstock and understock of supplies. I know I've been at work before in Ludlow, and we have run out of crutches for patients. Now, we're a half hour away from the hospital where we get our supplies. And we end up having to send these patients to another facility or to the drugstore to get something that we should have on hand for them. By being able to keep track of this automatically, we won't worry about running out of supplies because we'll know ahead of time that we need supplies and they'll be brought to us as soon as possible. The Pyxis system also keeps track of outdate and expiring items, and it'll notify you beforehand so that you can rotate that stock and make sure that it gets used before it expires. We want to make sure that this item is either moved to the front and used first, or if we're not going to use it before it outdates at this particular facility, we can send it out to the hospital or to another office practice where it will get used before it expires, which will save us a lot of money. I know when I'm doing supplies and stocking at my job, I run across a lot of outdated supplies that have been pushed to the back or were forgot about in a corner. By putting everything into the Pyxis and entering expiration dates, we can help prevent items from expiring and we'll be able to make sure that we can use them before they do expire. Let's talk about the budget. Each of the Carefusion Pyxis SupplyStations costs $5,500. One Pyxis supply unit will probably be enough for most of our office practices, although some of them may require an extra cabinet, which will be a little bit more money. Now, we're going to also probably need to do some renovations at each of the office practices. We're estimating about $3,000 for each office practice. The Pyxis supply system is a rather large system. It needs a certain amount of space, and it also needs access to electricity because it needs to be plugged in. So we want to make sure that we have an appropriate place to put it. Next, we'll want to bring down a Carefusion sales representative to consult with us. When I implemented the Pyxis supply system at Springfield Emergency Department, Andy, our sales rep, was an invaluable resource to us. He helped us implement the supply station. He taught us all how to use it, helped us set it up. He was a great resource, and I want to bring in someone to assist us with setting up the systems at each of our office practices. We're estimating about $2,000 to bring Andy or another representative down for a couple of days to help us with this implementation. We're also going to need to train all of our staff. We're guessing about $5,000 to train for each facility. Staff's going to have to come in. We're going to have to get them logged into the system, train them on how to use it, how to restock supplies, how to change power levels, all that sort of stuff. In total, we're looking at probably about $15,500 to implement the system into each office practice. In conclusion, this system is going to improve charge capturing, and it's going to improve patient satisfaction. We don't want to be running out of supplies because that looks bad. It's harmful to the patient. It's not good. And we're going to help decrease waste of supplies because we're not going to have 100 items that we are never going to use. And the bottom line is we're going to save money, which, while yes, we're in healthcare and our goal is to help our patients, it is still a business. And we want to make sure that we have money to pay our staff members, to buy supplies, to maintain our buildings, and to improve our practice so that our patients get the best care possible. All right, are there any questions? No? Thank you all for coming.